All right, guys, here's the second on the honors page. Okay, how many times bigger? If I ever see the word how many times bigger, that means I'm dividing. Okay, so 4 times 10 to the 6th divided by 8 times 10 to the 3rd. 4 divided by 8 is just a half, or 0.5, so that just happens, that's just normal division. Then 10 to the 6th divided by 10 to the 2nd, that's Powers rules, so that's just 1 less is subtraction, so this is times 10 to the 4th. But this is not scientific notation. It looks like it, but it's not. Because the first number has to be between 1 and 10, meaning the decimal has to come after. This has to be 5, not 0.5, to be scientific notation. So we need to make this 10 times bigger. So I'm going to steal a 10 from my bank of 10s over here and go from 0.5 up to 5, but now I've only got 3 10s left. That's the answer. So I don't know if they're going to ask you a question like that where you have to make that move, but it's good to know it. All right, how much bigger? If I ever seen how much bigger, that's subtraction. So let's see, 6.35 times 10 to the 4th minus 2.21 times 10 to the 3rd. The thing is, for subtraction, there is no shortcut, so we have to do this the long way. 6.35 is, let's see, 663 would be moving it over 1. 635 would be moving it twice. 3 times, 4 times. 2.2112, 2,210. Okay, let's see. Make that a 4, make that a 10. That's 0, 0, 2, 1, 61,200. So I put the decimal after the first number, and I'd have to make 6.12 into 612,000. I'd have to move it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So times 10 to the 4th. All right, this is probably the funnest problem. All right, so I know certain angles are the same. I know this red angle right there and this blue angle right here are the same because they're vertical angles. So I could set up this equation that 6x must be the same as 9y minus 12. The only problem is it's got 2 different letters in it. It's got x's and y's. So if they have the same letter, if they have 2 different letters, I can't solve it. So let's see. Is there anything? I know there is no relationship between this blue one and this red one, so they must be supplementary. They must add up to 180. So 6x plus 11z minus 1 equals 180, but there's 2 letters in that. So there's not much I can do. Oops, I don't want to go. So this blue angle and this red angle over here, I know those are alternating exteriors. So they're congruent, they're equal to each other. So I know 6x equals 4x plus 20. Now that only has x's in it, so I can solve it. That's minus 4x's from this side, minus 4x's from that side. And 2x equals 20, divide by 2. X equals 10. Okay, so x is 10. That doesn't mean this red angle or this blue angle, this angle over here is 10. It's 6 times 10, 6 x's. So this is actually 60 degrees, which makes this angle over here 120 degrees because they make a straight line, which makes this one 120 because it's on the opposite side, which makes this one 60 degrees. And since they're both copy and paste of each other, then it's the same down here. This is 120, 60, 60, 120. So that means 11z minus 1 is 120. And also 9y minus 12 is 60 degrees. So let's just figure these out. Plus 1, 11z equals 121. Divide by 11. Z equals 11. Okay, and over here, let's add 12. 9y equals 72, divided by 9. Y equals 8. So these weren't the degrees of the angle. Those were just like the little things that help you figure out 120 degrees and 60 degrees. All right, hopefully that made sense. All right, shout out for the 28. Shout out to Delaney Sullivan. I like the way she did this one. She said, okay, we're going to add the 2 points together and cut them in half. So she put them on top of each other. I kind of like that. I've never done that before. And then -3 and 7. So if you want to know the middle of something, you add it together and cut it in half. So 11 and -3, you put those together, you've got 8, right? Just basically 11 minus 3. You put 4 and 7 together, you have 11. Then you cut each one of them in half, so the middle is at 4 and 5.5. That's where the middle is of those 2 points. I like that. That's better than the way I used to do it. So yeah, I like that. Nice job, Delaney. Distance. All right, so any 2 points, we can make a triangle. When we say the distance between the 2 points up and down would be the a squared. The distance between them sideways would be the b squared. So we have to find the distance between sideways, between -3 and -12. So subtraction helps you find the distance between things. -3 minus -12. It's minus a negative, which means it actually becomes a positive. 2 negatives make a positive. So -3 versus +12 is 9. So this side over here, actually, they're 9 apart sideways. How far are they apart up and down? 8 and -4. 8 minus -4. 2 negatives make a positive. 8 plus 4 is 12. They're 12 apart up and down. So there's my A and B. 9 squared plus 12 squared equals I don't know squared. 81 plus 144 equals I don't know squared. 225 equals c squared. Take the square root, and c equals 15. So the distance apart, 15. All right, cylinder. Volume equals, we start with a circle, pi r squared. Give it some height, and that's it. We don't divide by 3. So let's go 3.14 times 3 to the second power, which means times 3 times 3, and then times 6. I'm not going to do it. You guys can do that one. I don't know what it is, but just multiply those on your calculator. 3.14 times 3 times 3 times 6. This one I did in class. Formulas are cool. So for a cone, we start volume equals, we start with a circle, pi r squared. We give it some height, and then we crush the bottom, so we divide by 3. But in this one, it gives us our volume. It gives us the answer. It gives us the radius, so it gives us our r. The only thing it doesn't give us is our height. So I'll paint that blue. We're trying to find the height. So we can actually rearrange this equation by using algebra. That's the cool thing about when you get good with formulas. You can find any part of the formula. Okay, I'm going to solve for the height. So I'm going to try to get the height all by itself. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3, and I'm going to multiply this side by 3. Why do I do that? That gets rid of the divided by 3. I'm just trying to carve down to the height. Pi r squared height. So now it's there's no 3 on the bottom. And over here we have now 3 times v is 3v. All right. If I want the height all by itself, I have to divide this side by pi and by r squared, because that'll cancel out the pi r squared, which means I have to divide this side by pi r squared. So even before I start, I can get down, there's a formula where if I just want the height by itself, it's actually 3 times the volume divided by pi r squared. So you're just rearranging an equation to make it what you want to solve for. So let's see. So now we have 3 times, on top we have 3 times our volume, which is the volume is 50.24, divided by 3.14 for pi, and then the radius is 2 squared. This is pretty complicated. It equals the height. When you end up doing this, you will get that the height was 12 if you plug it into your calculator. Do this divided by that 3.14 times 4, and you'll get the right answer. Pretty tough problem. We'll work on those separately later. All right, sphere with a radius 6. Sphere, its volume is that stupid fraction. We start with pi r cubed, and then we give it that stupid fraction. Actually, we start with pi r squared, but we make it cubed because it's 3D. So volume equals 4/3 pi times 6 3 times. So in your calculator, you can do 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 6 times 6 times 6. All right, I'm going to try to get these posted. Good luck on the test tomorrow.